Ladies and gentlemen, you're not in Kansas City anymore. You're on Beaverton City. Hey guys, this is Stranger Frozen Wish Stews here, and welcome back to another movie review. And today, I'm going to be doing a review on Hoppers. So Hoppers is the latest Pixar film, the 30th something Pixar movie overall. Honestly, guys, I lost track of that, by the way, but I just know somewhere like I know Pixar has now 30 something movies. And it came out in the year 2026, well, technically just last year. And it is directed by Daniel Chong, the creator of We Bare Bears. And it stars Piper Kurda, Bobby Moynihan, John Hamm, Dave Franco, Eduardo Franco, Sam Richardson, Isaiah Whitlock Jr., Meryl Streep, Tom Law, etc. And also Laurie Allen. And so Hoppers tells the story of this teen girl named Mabel, who grew up appreciating the wildlife after that one day where Mabel, as a young kid, was sent to stay with her grandma, and her grandmother taught Mabel about how to appreciate the wildlife. And so Mabel's biggest passion growing up was the wildlife and animals, and keeping the wildlife safe. But then Mayor Jerry plans to destroy the wildlife, but in order to build this new highway, and Mabel is against it. So Mabel and Mayor Jerry become the big rivals of Beaverton. But then one day, Mabel's college professor, Dr. Sam, creates this new technology where they they create like robot versions of the animals that looks exactly like the actual animals, in order to pretty much be make themselves feel like they're a part of the wildlife and learn about the animals. Mabel uses Dr. Sam's technology called Hoppers, which is the name of the film, to pretty much convince the animals that they need to save, the war dam or whatever the fuck it's called. I actually forgot. But then Mabel becomes the most popular member of the wildlife group, and so well, trouble happens in the second half. But I'm not going. I won't get into that yet, but I will actually get into that later. So yes, I'm gonna give this disclaimer now. There will be spoilers in the review because it's been a week now since the movie came out. Well, more than a week now since I personally saw this for the very first time. Now, when it comes to original Pixar movies, Coco was the last time an original Pixar movie actually did well at the box office. But after Coco, Pixar decided to take a break from making originals to make sequels such as Incredibles 2 and Toy Story 4, both of which are some of the highest grossing Pixar movies ever, well, at the time. And they didn't make an original movie since until 2020 with Onward and Soul. Unfortunately, though, Onward flopped because of COVID. COVID has affected any slim chances of Onward being a success, because the theaters were only open for 1 week, like the first week of Onward's theatrical release. And I know some people could argue that's because it wasn't marketed well and people actually weren't interested. But I think the movie was marketed just fine. And so if only if only Onward if it wasn't for COVID, I think Onward would have had a solid box office run. But then the second week of Onward, theaters had to close down, and Onward had to just stopped playing in theaters because of the COVID lockdown, and Onward instantly already was Disney and Pixar were forced to release Onward on VOD ASAP. So it really sucks for that time being. And I still remember my experience watching Onward in theaters. I actually watched it in a recliner seat theater. I don't normally do that with anime films, but it's insane. And then we also got Soul, which I think Soul is still a masterpiece. It's a shame that Soul has become an underrated Pixar film, but I think Soul is one of the best Pixar original movies, and certainly the better Pixar movie to come out in 2020 and onward. But I think Soul also wouldn't have done that well at the box office. I think Soul would have honestly underperformed. No, I don't think it'll flop. I think it'll do decent. It would have done as decently as Onward if it wasn't for the box office. But I mean, think about the competitions. I don't know how much Wonder Woman 1984 would have made if it wasn't for COVID. But Top Gun Maverick. Honestly, I think Top Gun Maverick would have outgrossed the Soul. And because let's be real here, everyone knows how much of a masterpiece Top Gun Maverick is. Maybe Top Gun Maverick would have turned out to be majority of people's favorite movie of 2020. So once they all find out the reviews of Top Gun Maverick, which to me personally, I think Top Gun Maverick is the better movie than Soul. And by the way, I'm comparing them both because Top Gun Maverick was originally going to come out a week after Soul, like exactly 1 week after. Probably Soul would have lost money in the second half, in the second weekend, and everyone was going to show up to Top Gun Maverick instead. And Top Gun Maverick would have made $1 billion. Actually, yeah. Oh yeah, I just realized West Side Story was also supposed to come out in 2020. I'd say West Side Story would have probably been my favorite movie of 2020, and Top Gun Maverick would have been right up there. I'm not sure, but whatever. And then we also got Luca and 30 Grid, also Disney Plus exclusives. And then came, Elemental, the return of Pixar original movies in theaters. And Elemental ended up being, the worst box office disaster in opening weekend. But because people actually liked the movie, liked it, it actually ended up being a success a month later. It actually broke even. Sure, it was not a huge hit, but it did. That was that had such a redemption at the box office in July, and yeah, I could not be more happy because Elemental is my favorite. It's currently my favorite Pixar original movie yet. I don't even know if it'll top. Yeah, in fact, as of now, I'm actually debating on which one I like better, Inside Out 2 or Elemental. I mean, I'm going for Inside Out 2 for now because Inside Out 2 was my favorite movie of its respective year, while Elemental wasn't. But they're both neck to neck for me. But then in 2025, after Elemental, wait, was there? Oh yeah, the next Pixar original movie after Elemental was Elio, and everybody knows how much that movie flopped. And unlike Elemental, there was no redemption for Elio because Elio was a divisive movie. There are a handful of people who did not like it and called it one of the worst Pixar movies ever. And I think Elio is decent, but not great. I think I was more generous to him in my initial review than I am now. I think Elio is a good but not great Pixar movie, one of Pixar's weakest movies. And so when it comes to Hoppers, there was a lot of worry about how this was actually going to do at the box office, but a lot of Pixar fans were advocating for this movie to do well at the box office because we need a Pixar original movie to do well at the box office. And yeah, I was actually excited for Hoppers. I mean, I called it that Hoppers was going to be far superior to Elio from that trailer. for the marketing. And yeah, some people will say that Hopper's marketing is not great, but I think they did fine marketing it, especially with the Tom Lizard character. Yeah, I think they already were marketing Hoppers in the Elio post credit scene when the lizard was like started spamming lizard, and yeah, but yeah, the reputation is in this movie with this movie is insane. And yeah, this movie went on to get an amazing critical acclaim, and it also and not only that, but it actually did decently the box office. Not only did this end up being the most successful Pixar original animated film since Coco, but it actually destroyed like the quote unquote bigger blockbuster of that came out in the same day, The Bride. I mean, The Bride could have easily destroyed Hoppers at the box office. But I mean, I will say this though, I still think The Bride is a masterpiece. I stand by what I said in my out there reaction. I love The Bride. I think it is the most underrated movie of the year so far. And I think Bride is also like a very original take on Frankenstein. It was very unique. And I think it's one of those movies that just gets better the more I think about it, actually. But Hoppers is better. Yeah, I think we can all agree that Hoppers is the superior movie to The Bride. So I actually already saw Hoppers twice. The first time I saw Hoppers was back in February 28th. Back in February 28th in an early access showing, which by the way, guys, that was the first time in 4 years that I have seen an early access showing for a movie. The last time that I watched an early access showing for a movie was Top Gun Maverick back in 2022. I have not remembered. I still remember doing that vlog of me going to that early access showing of Top Gun Maverick, and that was insane. And I did see, and even though I did see Mission Impossible Dead and Final Reckoning like earlier than the US release date, that didn't really count as early access showing because they were like actual like releases in my country, not like go be the first one to see it. Top Gun Maverick was that when I first saw it. And then just today, I saw it again. And as I'm recording this, guys, I actually just got home from a double feature that I did today. Double feature. The first one was my second showing of Hoppers. And the other one was The Secret Agent, which was, the movie that, for the first time because The Secret Agent just got released in my theaters today, so I saw it, and yeah, so now having seen Hoppers twice now, and by the way, guys, this is going to be based on I'm basing this all on my opinion on the second viewing because it slightly changed a bit for the better because I love Hoppers the first time around, but I think Hoppers got even better this time around. I absolutely love Hoppers, and I think this movie is a huge W for Pixar. Is this movie as good as Inside Out 2 Elemental? No. I think that there are better Pixar movies out there, like, those two I mentioned. I would also say The Incredibles duology, Monsters Inc., WALL-E, but now I previously said my out-there reaction that I was not sure about where to rank this in my Pixar ranking, and I have not figured out yet where I was going to place Hoppers on my Pixar ranking. But now I have a clear answer as to where I would rank this in my Pixar rankings. I'd say this movie is Ratatouille level masterpiece. Yeah, this movie is on the same level as Ratatouille. I will say that I'm actually debating if I prefer this or Ratatouille, but yeah, I would rank this below WALL-E in my Pixar ranking, and then Ratatouille, it's on par with Ratatouille. Yeah, it's on that level of masterfulness. And honestly, guys, this is better. I actually prefer this over all of the Toy Story movies. Yeah. Well, maybe we'll see if that changes when I rewatch Toy Story 3 this June. But I'm certain that this I prefer this over the first two movies. Yeah, and the fact that I actually ended up saying that this is better than the Toy Story movies is insane because we literally got Toy Story 5 as the next Pixar movie, and oh boy, yeah, Hoppers is gonna rip the shit out of Toy Story 5. And honestly, guys, I actually would love to see Hoppers win Best Anime Feature at the Oscars. But honestly, guys, it's gonna go to either Wildwood or Forgotten Island. I actually don't think Hoppers will win Best Anime Feature, but I would love it to, honestly. So yeah, now the trailers promote the film as cute, funny, and heartfelt, but damn, there is so much more in the actual film that was not in the trailers or promotional material at all. And I will say this, guys, the second half of the movie, which is the part where I'll be giving away spoilers, that is the main reason why I love this movie. But I'm going to talk about the first half first before talking about the second half. Now, the first 20 minutes takes its time to establish this world, establish Beaverton, establish Mabel as a character. Like, they don't actually transform Mabel into a beaver that quick. So it takes like pretty much, I'd say, 30 minutes of the film's runtime, like 20 to 30 before it actually happens, because there's a lot to what's the word, cover, I guess, or for Mabel's character, because Mabel is not just an animal loving character. She's actually a character who she's doing all this for her grandmother, because like what I explained in the plot synopsis, Mabel's grandmother is the whole reason why Mabel is passionate. Mabel's specialty is the wildlife and nature and the forest, and Mabel wants to pretty much keep it safe for her grandmother. And you also got the tragic passing of Mabel's grandmother, because man, for I've seen some stories about a grandparent and his or her grandson slash daughter. I have never seen anything as heartfelt as this. I think this might be the best granddaughter and grandmother bonding I've ever seen, and that was just like 10 minutes of the movie. So wow, I mean, if a relationship that we only saw on screen for 10 minutes made me truly care that much, then that is something. That is something. Mabel is one of my absolute favorite Pixar protagonists ever, and honestly, guys, she's in my top 5 Pixar crushes, and she is currently my crush of the year so far. Now, maybe that could change later on. Oh, by the way, guys, speaking of quote unquote crush of the year, if you guys are gonna ask me if I think Hoppers is the best movie of the year, not quite. Yeah, I still think 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple is my favorite movie of the year so far, but this is a very, 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 very close second. And when it comes to animated movies of the year, yeah, it's gonna be real hard for this to be topped. Although I am looking out for animated films like Forgotten Island and Hex. Yeah, I still think Forgotten Island will be the best anime movie of the year. I am calling it right now. And Hex, honestly, we'll see if Hex will top Hoppers as the best Disney anime movie of the year. As for Wildwood, yeah, we'll also see if Wildwood can top this when it comes to my anime movies. So we'll see, but I won't be surprised if this ends up being my second favorite. Though I'm 99.9% sure Forgotten Island will be the animated movie of the year for me. Anyways, yeah. Where was I? I am like, one thing I love about the character design of Mabel is the freckles on her, because when you put freckles in a female character, that tells me that that there's actually real effort, because female characters with animated characters with freckles shows that they are realistic. That is, and I just realized that I actually realized this recently that the freckles is the main reason why I love characters like Anna. Why Anna's my favorite anime character. Why I love her so much because of her freckles. The freckles show that there is the twice the effort designing this character because they feel real, like real characters, like they feel very realistic. The freckles make these characters realistic, so I applaud the I'll always applaud when an animated movie character has freckles on, even male characters, even though I'm not gay. So the animation is stunning. And you can argue that the Bean Mouse style is slightly present, but mainly with Dr. Sam's character, like Sam has this like Bean Mouse smile to her, but you can clearly tell that Pixar is actually shifting away from the Bean Mouth animation style. And it seems like this may be the last one. And it's not even that much of a Bean Mouth animation style. They only use the one character, but I think what I love about this animation is that these characters have different character traits. That the Bean Mouth animation style is not present on Mabel herself or the assistant of Dr. Sam, which honestly I forgot her name. And yeah, I mean, it's just Dr. Sam, but at the same time, the Bean Mouth animation style actually fits well with her personality. And also the humor is funny as well. The humor actually landed much more on second viewing than the first viewing. And did I mention that the second viewing in general was better than the first viewing? I mean, my first viewing had some flaws. Like, it was not a perfect experience. Like, there was like this kid behind me who won't shut up, and he keeps asking. In the beginning of the movie, this kid was like, "Is this Harper's? Is this the actual movie?" Even if they clearly show the logo, which means that it's the actual movie. I mean, it's a toddler, so who am I kidding? But the fact that whatever. In this second viewing, I'll say my only issue with this cinema experience was that the movie was shown in this square aspect ratio format, and I don't like it looking that way. Like, why didn't you just fill in the whole screen? Why do you have to make it just use the small aspect ratio? That I don't know. I don't understand why they made the decision to do that. Anyways, I saw it in a theater where that's like one of the weakest in my country, but it's discounted, so that's one reason why I saw it. And also, what else? Humor, by the way. Yeah, the humor. Now I remember what I was gonna mention. These sound designs. Oh man, like it's insane. They actually used the laser technology for this, so this had the booming loud sound, like boom, like every time something like big happens, boom. Yeah, the cinema kind of shakes because they use laser tech, and they had this laser commercial ad before the movie started, so there's that. But anyways, the jokes in the movie, oh man, they're actually funny. Now, I still don't agree with this being the funniest Pixar movies. I guess humor is subjective, but to me personally, the first Toy Story is still the funniest Pixar movie ever, even if though it's the weakest of the three Toy Story movies. So I don't humor is not really an important factor for me to judge a movie, but this one had some really good humor, like like that one joke where my whole audience was laughing at. It was like I mean, this was one of the most marketed scenes in the film. The noise where King George was like, the noise was like, "Wee!" And then it was like, "Wah!" And of course the lizard himself, the biggest marketing tool for this movie. Is like, "Wah!" Okay, I like. Okay, okay, I got it. Yeah, that's exactly what the lizard did. Yeah. Damn, I didn't know I was gonna be good at making lizard impressions, honestly. But yeah, And and by the way, yeah, and speaking of which, yeah, my favorite scene in the first half of the movie was when Mabel took down that noisy tree that has been distracting the animals, that made them sensitive. And yeah, that was an epic moment. Yeah, and also I like how the movie established its for enforce and all that. Then comes the council meeting scene, the turning point of the film, and from there on out, that everything in that second half, that's why I love Hopper so much. It's because of those moments. The council yeah, I still think the council meeting scene is my favorite scene in the film, especially now. I'm going to get into spoilers here, so yep, let's spoil the shit out of this movie. So like when Mabel tells everyone that they convinces the council that Jerry is an evil quote unquote human king, and they need to stop him. But then the council decides that if they're gonna stop Jerry, they're going to quote unquote squish him, which is basically they want to kill Jerry. But then Mabel says that whoa, they're like, whoa guys, you're going too far. Don't kill him. Just stop him, scare him, something. But since Mabel because of how Mabel told everyone to chill and relax, they went against Mabel, especially with the insect queen, Meryl Streep's character, who got really pissed at Hopper at Mabel for it. And guess what happens? Mabel kills the insect queen. Holy shit. Honestly, guys, that was the best scene in the whole film. I mean, the fact that Pixar took this risk by they made a decision to make the main character kill a supporting character who is not really a villain. God freaking damn. And guys, my whole audience had this very loud gasp, like this reaction to Mabel killing the insect queen. And yeah, that really got me. And yes, Mabel killing the insect queen is honestly my favorite scene in the film. That was very dark and ballsy for Pixar to do that. And something like this is what I've been waiting for in a Pixar movie. I've been waiting for Pixar to go dark and pretty much animation to not be afraid of being dark. So if it means a main character killing a side character in an anime movie, oh man, I was in for a treat in that second half. And yeah, man, this is like the thing about animation. This is what I miss about animation. Like we really need more anime movies like this, and especially given the fact that this can be Pixar's subversion of Animal Farm. Yeah, that's right. And when a Pixar movie that came out this year is darker than a fucking Animal Farm movie, which I cannot wait to rant the shit out of Animal Farm. I'm gonna say my. As much as I want to share my vent on the new Animal Farm movie right here, I'll save it for my epic rant when I get to see the actual movie when it comes out this May. To less than 2 more months to go. So and from there on out, the narrative changes. So just when we thought that this narrative was going to be animals versus humans, no, turns out that second half it went into a complete direction, and I had no idea what was going to happen, and they actually stayed unpredictable throughout. And oh man, yes, they killed the insect queen, and of course Mabel gets chased out, like the whole council crowd that chases after Mabel and King George for all that stuff, and now it sounded like Mayor Jerry was no longer gonna be like the main villain of the movie, like what we all thought. But another surprise comes out. There is a twist villain in the movie, and that is Titus, like the child caterpillar. He's a freaking kid. So I mean, yeah, sure, he was evil in the official trailer, but for him to be like the real main villain of the movie, yeah, man, what a twist! Honestly, Titus is the best of the Pixar twist villains, and he is among the top five Pixar villains of all time. Oh my god, guys, Titus is truly evil. Truly evil. Like, he is actually a terrifying villain, despite his first appearance being a caterpillar, just a tiny kid caterpillar. His like like he's a really truly evil villain who I really love to hate with a passion. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, Titus would be my second favorite character in the film, second only to Mabel. Yes, he's that good of a villain. Like, he's a terrifying villain. Like, and I'll get back to Titus later. I need to talk about this part. Yeah. So after Mabel decides that they need to protect Mayor Jerry from the Council of Animals squishing him, they Mabel and pretty much all the main characters, King George, Loaf, and by the way, guys, I should mention as well, King George is the most likable character in the film. I can totally see why King George is the fan favorite character in the movie. But anyways, back to this so in that car scene, after the animals were trying to help Mayor Jerry drive through the forest, the canal, whatever. There is this part, like, in the highway where like, not a highway but rather, yeah, it is a highway, a flock of birds who are part of the animal council's mission to squish Jerry carries a shark, like a big like scary shark, and by the way, that shark is terrifying. Yeah, Bruce from Finding Nemo has nothing on that shark. They carry that shark, and they literally use that shark to threaten to kill Jerry. And man, that was freaking insane. One of the best scenes in this entire film for sure. Yeah, but then after that moment, we got to the third act. Well, actually, technically, that was already the third act of the movie, but it gets even crazier from there. So Mabel and Jerry get kidnapped by the Council of Animals. They tie them up, in kidnapping fashion, and then they literally take control of Dr. Sam and her assistant, which I forgot the name, but I think she's Indian. Her name is Indian. That's all I remember. And she's like basically, I'd say Sam's assistant. The best way to describe her, she's like Priya, the mother of Priya from Turning Red. Yeah, I actually realized it just now, just thinking about that character. Yeah, it's pretty insane. And so they the Council of Animals force Dr. Sam and her assistant to build a reverse of Hoppers, where now the animals can turn into robotic humans, because they found out about the whole robot thing. And then Titus turns into Titus uses that technology, that reverse experimentation, to become Jerry. Yeah, a robot version of Jerry, and his evil smirk and his Titus in Jerry's body. Oh my god, guys, you won't believe how terrifying he is, and that revelation of Titus turning into Mayor Jerry, is hopping into Mayor Jerry's body, is certainly up there as one of my favorite scenes in the film, and that doesn't stop there, because he's using Mayor Jerry's body to squish the humans, and he's gonna like have the humans like killed in the scene where in like the election scene, the mayor election scenes, and so that election scene was insane. And Titus really crossed the line where like he revealed that he actually wanted Titus actually wanted the insect queen, her mother, to die. And so he actually was. Turns out that the twist was that he actually, I mean, just when we all thought that Titus was going to what was going after Mabel as a revenge to for killing his mother. Turns out that, yeah, that twist is that, like what I just said a second ago, Titus wants Titus actually wanted her mother to die so that he can be king and take over the world. Yes, like us in your world domination. So yeah, that's how great Titus is. And then in a chasing, yeah, we see Mabel like pulling up, like removing the face of the Jerry robot. And then what we get is like a horrifying looking robot. And let me tell you guys right now, it is a freaking horrifying, one of the most horrifying things I have ever seen from a Pixar movie. And then we get the climax of the movie, the final battle, that which is absolutely freaking huge in scale. Yeah, with like how big the fire is, and then we see everything get resolved by the animals like having to sacrifice the flood in order for it to spread into the the places where that got burned, so that the fire can wash up. And yeah, that climax is just so good, one of the best Pixar climaxes, period. And the ending, yeah, it did get shed a tear in my eye. Now, it's not like Elemental or Inside Out 2 level emotional, but it is like a great movie that really, a great ending that really had my heart warmed, especially with Mabel and human Mabel and King Georgia sitting together side by side. Even if they cannot communicate with each other, they both still recognize each other and still get in touch, and I love that. So overall, Hoppers is among my top 10 best Pixar movies, period. And it is a movie that just got better a second time around. I mean, even though the film may seem very cute, funny, heartfelt, and all that stuff, it's that entire it's the darkness and serious side to the film that made me truly love the film more. And everything that went on with those, this is what animation needs right now. Animation needs to not be afraid to get dark. I mean, Mabel like a main character killing off murdering a side character, other characters getting killed, especially one certain character who got killed in an explosion, and a horrifying villain with like this extremely horrific face, and later revealed to have like this horrific face look on the inside once the mask has been taken off, and all that stuff, and the fact that the entire tons and tons of people being threatened to all be killed, like and a villain who wants to end the world and pretty much just kill everybody. Yeah, this is what animation needs, and I wish we had more animated movies like this. And yeah, maybe this could be one of those movies where that could get better and better as time goes along. However, I will probably make my final stance on this movie when I get to see Hex. So I'm gonna say this right now, guys. If I end up preferring Hoppers over Hex when Hex comes out in theaters, then I'm gonna have Hoppers way higher up on my Pixar rankings, where I could even put this in my top 5. But if I end up preferring Hex over this one, then maybe my opinion on this will stay the same. But again, I still think Forgotten Island will be the best anime movie of the year to me. But we'll see. But Hoppers, I already call it that Hoppers will be right up there. And yeah, I'm still shocked at how good this movie was. So that said, guys, I'm going to give Hoppers a 5 out of 5 stars. So also for my review of Hoppers, what are your thoughts on the movie? Would you agree with me that this is a top 10 Pixar movie? Do you praise this movie more than I did? Would you say this is the best movie of 2026 so far, or would you agree with me that it's that Bone Temple is still the best movie of the year so far. Oh, by the way, I already know Project Hail Mary will top this next week. By the way, or do you think that this movie is a little overrated or overhyped? Yeah, I've heard some people say that this movie is just decent, okay, but overhyped. I kind of get that. It is bizarre, but yeah, whatever. So yeah, comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for my movie review of the Best Picture frontrunner, one battle after another. We'll see if I'll review one battle after another on before the Oscars or after. I am not sure if I'll have time for another video for the rest of the week, but yes. I'm confident that one battle after another will be my review of one battle after another will be my next video. So yeah, bye guys.